Oh, all right, we've all been there. Standing over the ball, the pin is just 30 yards away. But then you start to think, pitching wedge, sand wedge? What about that shiny new 58 degree I got after seeing a pro hit some miracle flop shot? Finally, we grab a club, take a shaky swing, and the result is, well, not exactly what we pictured. The ball either screams across the green like a rocket, or as we see here, pops up 5 feet in front of us. It's a frustrating moment that every single golfer knows, and this one little shot can absolutely kill a round. But what if the problem isn't our swing, and it isn't that we haven't found that one magic wedge? What if the problem is the question we're asking? We're looking for one supreme club when we should be looking for a supreme system. Here's a statistic that might surprise you. A data scientist at Arcos Golf found that for high handicappers, 77% of their score came from double bogeys or worse. And one of the most common reasons for double bogeys is double chips. Think about that for a second. From a comparatively small distance, the number of shots taken are way out of proportion. And why is that? I believe it's because most of us are just guessing. We grab our favourite club for every chip and hope for the best. That's not a strategy. I did it myself. I practiced and got pretty good at chipping with my pitching wedge. Then I got a new 58 degree and it became my go-to short game club. And I forgot about my pitching wedge and lost the skill to effectively use it. The truth I've found is there's no single best club for the 30-yard shot. The real weapon is knowledge. Have a simple, repeatable system to read the situation and pick the right tool for the job. And by the end of this video, I'm looking to have that exact system. Now my PGA golf coach, Jack, is on holidays, seen here in the crowd at the US Open, so I'm on my own for now. I've also been concentrating too much on my driving lately, and my short game has gone down the... But back to the short game. First, let's blow up what I'm thinking is the biggest myth in the short game, the go-to club. A lot of us were probably told to just pick one wedge, maybe a 54 degree or a pitching wedge, and hit every shot around the green with it. I get the logic, practice one thing and get consistent, but to me, the logic is just wrong. Why? Because I've never found two 30-yard chips are ever the same. One shot, your ball is sitting perfectly on a tight fairway with tons of green to work with. The next hole, it's buried in thick rough and you've got to carry a bunker to a pin that's tucked right behind it. Using the same club for both of these shots is like using a hammer for every job in your toolbox. Yeah, you can probably bang a screw in with it, but it's not going to be pretty and it's definitely not the right way to do it. My 54 degree is great for getting out of the rough, but from a tight lie, this club has 10 degrees of bounce, so it can and has skip off the firm ground and sent the leading edge into the center of the ball. Hollow bladed shot over the green. And that lob wedge, it's a hero when you need to stop the ball on a dime, but it's a high risk club with all that swing speed when you don't actually need all that loft. When you rely on just one club, we're forced to make all these crazy adjustments to our swing. We're changing our ball position, face angle, club swing speed. We're just adding a dozen things that can go wrong. I thought the whole point of the short game was to make things simpler, not harder. It all starts with letting the club do all the work. I want a system I can rely on and have the foundation of this system being one simple chipping motion, and we just change the club to change the result. So what's the system? It's simple. It comes down to answering two questions before you even grab a club out of the bag. Question 1, what's my lie like? Question 2, what is the landing zone telling me? Let's break down the first question. What's my lie like? How the ball is sitting will instantly tell you which clubs are in play and which clubs are out. We can put the lies into 4 simple groups. First, we have the perfect lie. This is where the ball is sitting pretty on the fairway or the fringe. Nothing is between your club and the ball. From here, every club is an option. But because contact is so easy, this is the perfect time for a club with less loft, like a pitching wedge or even an 8-iron. They give you a much more predictable roll with much less of a backswing. Grab a high bounce sand wedge here and you're playing with fire. Second, we have the rough lie. The ball is sitting down in the grass even a little bit. Your mission now is to get the club on the back of the ball without the grass grabbing your club head. This is where your sand wedge and your lob wedge are your best friends.
We'll use 2 clubs. I'll use a 60 degree and a 56. Heavier rough, and like when you look at Well, let's just compare the U.S. Open and the Open Championship. Two totally different types of challenges. When you miss the green at the U.S. Open, you're basically going to hit a similar type of shot each time, where you're just opening the face with a 60 and trying to play like a bunker shot to get the ball close to the hole.
Trying to hit your pitching wedge or your 8-iron here is a bad bet. Third, we have the obstacle lie. This isn't about the grass, it's about what's in your way. Is there a bunker, a shrub, a sprinkler head? If you must carry something, you need height. Simple as that. This is a job for your sand wedge or lob wedge. My 58 degree. You've got to fly over trouble. This is definitely not time for a low running chip with a pitching wedge or a 9-iron. Lastly, the bare lie. The grass, if any, is sparse and the ground below and between is rock hard. This is like the perfect lie, but with even less give. This is where you're looking for the baby bear of wedges. Not too much bounce, but with some degree of loft. A pitching wedge, or in my case I like to use the 54 degree with the face square to the ball to minimise the bounce, as the go-to club. Now just looking at the lie, you've already turned a guess between 5 clubs into a clear choice between 1 or 2. Okay, on to the second question. What's my landing zone telling me? This is where you start to think like a strategist. You need to live by the old rule of thumb, minimum air, maximum ground. You want the ball rolling on the green as soon as possible because a rolling ball is way more predictable than a flying ball. Walk up to the green and look at the space you have and ask yourself, how much green do I have to work with? If the pin is way at the back, that's a huge green light to pull out a lower lofted club. Your pitching wedge, a 9-iron, or even an 8-iron are in play here.
You're going to go over there, assess the lie. Sometimes I may get a really clean lie, sometimes I may get a thick lie. I get a clean lie and, I may be using an 8-iron to pitch it up the slope, or maybe a 50 degree, depending on how much pitch there is in the slope.
You can land the ball just a few feet on the green and let it release and roll out like a puck. Your margin for error is massive. Or you might be asking, how little green do I have to work with? This time, if the pin is tucked right near the front, you have to stop the ball and fast. You need loft and lots of it. When you have to fly the ball onto the green and get it to land softly with almost no roll, this is where the 54 to 60 degree wedges earn their keep. What's the slope doing? Is your landing spot uphill or downhill from you? If you're landing on an upslope, that's a natural break. You can be a bit more aggressive and use a little less loft. But if you're landing on a downslope, that ball's going to hit the ground running. Your most lofted club is in demand here to create the softest landing possible and give yourself a chance to keep it close. Step 3, putting the system into practice. Live scenarios. Let's run through a few real-world 30-yard shots to see this in action. Your ball is sitting perfectly on the fairway. The pin is in the middle of the green, no obstacles. Question 1, the lie. It's perfect. Lower loft is our friend. Question 2, the landing zone. I've got tons of green to work with. The minimum air, maximum ground rule is screaming at me. This job is for the 8-iron. It's a pitching wedge. I use my standard simple chipping stroke, land it just on the front of the green and let it roll out to the hole. It's the highest percentage shot I can hit. Your ball is in some light rough. There's a bunker between you and the pin that's cut about 10 steps onto the green. Question 1, the lie. It's in the rough. I need a club that can get through the grass. Sand wedge or lob wedge. Question 2, the landing zone. I must fly a bunker and pull up before the bunker on the other side. I need height and a soft landing now. The verdict? This shot has my sand wedge or 54 degree written all over it. Your ball is on hard dry but bare rough. The pin is all the way at the back of a long flat green. Question 1, the lie, firm and tricky. Question 2, the landing zone. I've got a section of rough grass between myself and the green and an airport runway of green in front of me. There is absolutely no reason to fly the ball very far and certainly no time to get cute off that lie. The verdict? Forget the high lofted wedges and the 8 or 9-iron bump and run. Seriously, this is time you want minimal bounce as well as a reduced backswing. The safety shot is made with your pitching wedge here. By using this 2-question system, the right club becomes obvious. You're not guessing anymore, you're making a smart strategic choice. Look, the only way to make this feel natural is to go practice it, but just don't go and mindlessly bash balls. Next time you're at the practice green, take 4 clubs, your pitching wedge, your sand wedge, your lob wedge and an 8-iron. Drop some balls at 30 yards and for each one, actually go through the system. Say it out loud. This is a tight lie. I have a lot of green. I'm hitting the pitching wedge. Then toss a few in the rough and do it again. Doing this deliberately is what builds that on-course instinct. If this system clicks for you, do me a favour and hit the subscribe button. We're all about practical on-course strategies that will actually lower our scores. And I want to hear from you. Go to the comments below and let us know what your old go-to chipping club has always been. A 56 degree, a 60? Let's see what the crowd favourite is. So which club is truly supreme for the 30-yard chip shot? The answer is all of them, and none of them. The best tool isn't one club in your bag, it's the decision-making process in our heads. It's about replacing confusion with clarity. When we stop looking for one magic club and start using a simple system, checking the lie and the landing zone, we give ourselves the power to make the right choice every single time. We let the club do the work so you can make a simple, confident swing. The best way to minimise risk is to take it out of the equation when you can. That's how we stop throwing away shots around the green. That's how we turn that scary 30-yard shot from a moment of fear to a real opportunity to score. And if you want to see more studying golf content, I highly recommend you click on this video here.